Back to serve, JC Mobley. Ashton Boston. Back to serve number 7. Marley Crosby checks in, also Sadie. Aspen Boston Tech. Florida also checking in to serve, Liddy Dewey. Checking in for Greenbrier, number 15, Morley Crossman. Also in to serve, number 3, Sadie Saunders. Sadie Saunders. Daylin Harper. A nice kill. Checking in for the Lady Bombers, number 12, Lorelei Green, and number 14, Liddy Dewey. Dewey back to serve. Daylin Harper with a nice block. Aspen Boston Tech checks in, also back to serve, Addie Dewey. Cuban. And Boston Tech. Number 11, JC Motley. In, also back to serve, PM Human to the Lady Bombers. Avery McEwen. Mia Southall is from Greenbrier, back to serve. Number 3, Sadie Saunders. Now serving set point, Sadie Saunders. Kicker medley in for the Lady Bombers. Back to serve number 7, Kara Jackson. Greenbrier takes set number 2.
Give it to me, I'm worth it. Baby, I'm worth it. I'm worth it. Give it to me, I'm worth it. Give it to me, I'm worth it. Baby, I'm worth it. I'm worth it. Give it to me, I'm worth it. Okay, so bring it back, let you love something. Bring it back, let you love something. In the world, we can like something. You like to shake off. Can you show me that shit? Stop playing, you know that. What you want to shake off? Just give me you. Just give me you. That's all I wanna do. I just want to say it's true. Every time I'm giving you. I've been taking a lot of stuff. Girl, I can back it up. I think I'ma hurry up. Hurry up. Hurry up. See me in the spotlight, ooh, in your town. Show me what you got, 'cause I don't wanna waste my time. See me in the spotlight, ooh, in your town. Show me what you
Greenbrier will begin serving set number 3. Back to serve number 5, Allie Parker. Checks in, also checking in, Aston Quastatek. Scribers back to serve. Allie Former here for the Lady Panthers, back to serve. Number 2, Allie James. Deanna Human. Into the Lady Bombers, number 8, Daylynn Parker, back to serve. Human. Avery McEwen into Greenbrier, back to serve. Jason Mobley. For the Lady Bombers, and back to serve. Number 7, Kara Jackson. Kara Jackson continuing to serve for the Lady Bombers. Kara Jackson. Marley Crossman enters the game for Greenbrier, back to serve number 3, Sadie Jo Saunders. Saunders with an ace. In from Mountain Home, Warlock Green also checking in. Really, Dewey to serve. Really, Dewey. Timeout, Greenbrier. Really Dewey to serve. Timeout, Mountain Home. checking in, back to serve. Tika Traver serving match point. And that will conclude our junior varsity game tonight.
Hey, good afternoon, Bomber Nation, and welcome to the Panther Pavilion on the campus of Greenbrier, Arkansas. They're cranking a little Elvis in the building right now. Glad you're here with us on the Bomber Sports Network. It says Lady Bomber Volleyball that we'll have for you. Mountain Home comes into this game 12-14 and a fight for their life. In the Class 5A West standings, Greenbrier has been knocked out and eliminated. They're trying to play spoiler here for the final two games. Should be a good one tonight. Greenbrier, it was a 3-0 sweep back at the hangar. Mountain Home won that one about a month ago. Greenbrier has wins over Van Buren and Alma in conference play as they sit currently tied for 7th place in the 7A West, as we will take a look at the 5A West standings right there on your screen. Russellville's already locked their way in along with Harrison in first place, and Greenwood, it looks like, well, that's still up in the air. Greenwood and Russellville fighting for that 2 seed still, but it's a big log jam here in the middle. Siloam Springs at 6-6. We're at 5-7, and Van Buren's at 5-7. And Siloam Springs and Van Buren happen to play tonight. So Lady Bombers need 2 wins this week and a little bit of help as we head into the final week of the regular season. And glad you're here with us this afternoon. This is the Bomber Sports Network. As they are finishing warm-ups here, they're cranking a little Elvis, a little opera music when Mountain Home was on the floor warming up. It's kind of funny, actually, but we're ready to go here. This is their first game of the year in the basketball arena. They usually play their games in a multi-purpose facility. It's about a gym that's about the size, I don't know if you've ever been in our gym back at Hackler Intermediate School, but it's about that size, a few more bleachers, but it is just volleyball specific. But because of the senior night stuff, they wanted to get a few more extra people in here, and they moved over to the basketball gym. They have a brand new court in here and added some new lights into this facility that was built in the year 2000. It's kind of hard to tell because it's upside down on your screen, but it is a Panther logo with the state of Arkansas behind it, kind of like how U of A does. It's a good-looking court. So it's pretty, the place up here. Good little student following over there, probably about 30, 40 students. Of course, our boom squad could certainly do better than them in a heartbeat. Hopefully we have a big crowd on Thursday and we have something to cheer for. We're about 3.5 minutes away from the action here in Greenbrier. This is the final regular season road trip. Lady Bombers trying to sneak their way into the state playoffs as the 4 seed. Again, Harrison, Greenwood, and Russellville have already pushed in a spot into the state tournament, as Siloam, Van Buren, and Mountain Home, the only ones mathematically eligible to make it into the 4 spot. Other games going on tonight. Siloam Springs is at Van Buren, so we'll have a decent amount of eyes on there. It would be wrong for us to say we wouldn't be doing a little scoreboard watching this evening. Big game over in Harrison. Russellville is going to town over there, and Greenwood and Alma are meeting. So a couple big games going on here in conference play. Mountain Home will have their senior night on Thursday. JV action will begin at 4:30. The senior night festivities will take place after, and then the varsity match. We will honor our 3 seniors, Mia Jones, Carson Schmitz, and Jaden Davis, that will be leaving us after this year. So we're going to take a short little intermission, and then we will bring you the starting lineups and the national anthem if they decide to play it here. This is Lady Bomber Volleyball on the Bomber Sports Network.
Talking with Jeff Kincaid, Guyberry Principal.
Greenbrier, we started 12 years ago for the school district to have our own alternative learning environment, and we've really grown since then. We've come a long way. We've had 3 state ALE Teachers of the Year. Mr. Tim Harris won that award 2 years ago, and then this year at State ALE Convention, he was appointed to the Arkansas Association of Alternative Educators State Boards. We're proud to have him on there. It's really been a big blessing.
visiting with Miss Kristen Goodwin. How would you describe the culture at Hackler? I've always heard it referred to as Happy Hackler.
Well, we are very happy at Hackler. We're very proud of the work that we do at Hackler. I think that we have outstanding students, and we have a faculty and staff that I am immensely proud to work with. They are easy to talk about. They're easy to celebrate because they want what's best for our students, and I'm very proud to be able to lead them.
Here's Mary Beth Russell, Mountain Home High School principal.
So we have a lot of good going on right now at the high school. Think about it. If you're a teenager, you want to come to high school because we have all the things. That's the best part about being in high school is doing the things. Listen, if you can name it, we have a club that fits it. You know, I joke around about we're like New York. We're the high school that never sleeps. We have the mentoring program once a month. Our kids, they get to actually look and see experiences that no other high school in our area provides.
Back here in Greenbrier, about to get things going here. Again, Lady Bombers in action for their final regular season road game of the season as they're taking on Greenbrier. This is their senior night as Greenbrier looks to finish their season on a high note, at least on the home portion of their schedule. Mountain Home trying to spoil their senior night this evening. About ready to get things going here. About 10 seconds left in warm-up. We're going to set it down to the public address announcer down on the floor as we'll take us through the starting lineups and the player introductions along with the national anthem and a Pledge of Allegiance and all that other song and dance. This is Lady Bomber Volleyball on the Bomber Sports Network.
Good afternoon again, everyone, and welcome to the Greenbrier Panther Pavilion for today's exciting 5A West Conference matchup between the Mountain Home Lady Bombers and the Greenbrier Lady Panthers. Before we begin this afternoon's varsity matchup, I'd like to ask that everyone please stand, remove your hats, and direct your attention towards our nation's flag. We'll commence with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence, and conclude with the singing of our cherished national anthem by special guests Addison Gray, Vicaria Gilkey, and Cannon Wilcox. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now for a moment of silence. Thank you. And the singing of our national anthem by Addison Gray, Vicaria Gilkey, and Cannon Wilcox. At this time, introduce this afternoon's starting lineups, beginning with the visiting Mountain Home Lady Bombers. Introducing first, a senior, number 5, Corson Schmitz. Sophomore, number 7, Kara Jackson. Junior, number 11, Allie Chankowski. Sophomore, number 15, Aspen Vostatek. Junior, number 21, Anna McCorn. Junior, number 26, Michaela Mages. And the libero, number 3, Addison Morris. Mountain Home is coached by Jill Daves, assisted by Mike Daves and Shelby Upshaw. Manager is Ava Jones. Now, please put your hands together for the starting lineups for your Greenbrier Lady Panthers. Introducing first, the sophomore, number 4, Avery McEwen. Senior, number 6, Cassie Saunders. Junior, number 11, JC Mobley. Sophomore, number 12, Daisy Jones. Freshman number 15, Marley Grossman. Junior number 16, Madison Crum. And the libero, senior number 7, Chandley Wood. Greenbrier is coached by head coach Katie Huff and assisted by Sandy White. Greenbrier's manager is Ava Luger.
All right, to get things going here in Greenbrier. They went through the starting lineups and the national anthem, along with the Pledge of Allegiance. Tell you what, this guy was pretty good, but he's no match for our guy back in the hangar. Glad you're here with us. We're ready to go here in Greenbrier. Brand new floor in here. Place looks good. Athletic Director Stephen Wood added some minor amenities here in Greenbrier. Brand new floor, new lights in here. Pretty the place up. They've always been good to us here. Ready to get things going. Mountain Home will be on the left side of your screen for this match. They'll be in their October pink jerseys with blue numerals, white trim, blue spandex all the way around, and Addison Martz will be clad in a blue libero jersey with a pink number. She is in number 3 this evening. Has pink MH on the shoulders as well. She'll come in for Michaela Mages. Greenbrier in their home black uniforms. Greenbrier across the chest. It will be blue numerals with white text and white and blue trim alternating on the numerals and the text. They will be in blue spandex, and the libero will be in a blue jersey with white numerals and a white Panther logo above the shoulders. Glad you're here with us on behalf of the Mountain Home Public School District. I am Dylan Conley. Glad you're here with us this afternoon. JC Mobley will serve to get things going here in Greenbrier. They'll be serving from right to left in front of you here. Very good crowd here for senior night. Would look a lot bigger in their small volleyball gym as they set it up for McCarn. Spike to the right side of the back row. They're going to set it up for Crum, who punches this one down. Goes back to Schmitz to the far side. Vostatek has to save this one on the third ball over. It's set to Anna McCarn, the 6'4" junior. Comes back this way to Crum. Back to Martz, who digs this one out. Chankowski will set it up for Vostatek. Goes to the middle of the back row. On desperation, they get it back on the third hit. Goes back to the middle. Anna McCarn. It is set right into the net, and it's a point for Mountain Home to start things off here. So Mountain Home will serve now. It'll be Addison Martz serving. It'll be Chankowski will serve. It'll be Chankowski, Martz, and Kara Jackson in the back row. Aspen Vostatek, Anna McCarn, and Carson Schmitz up front. It's a good look at service. Tap back over by McCarn. Block that one, and it's a point for Mountain Home. Very interesting question indeed. They are called the Greenbrier, but yet their school colors are blue and white. This is a good serve to the middle of the back row to the libero of Greenbrier. Over to Crum, punches that one. Hey, what? Crum has been one of the better players in this 5A West Conference. I believe she is averaging at last check around 23 to 25 kills a game in 5A West play. Serves on the way to Martz. Jackson sets it up to Carson Schmitz. Punches this one. It stands in bounds, and it's 3-1 Mountain Home. So Majors will come in for Addison Martz, who will head to the bench. Anna McCarn will serve now. McCarn on the way. Her serve, a good serve, goes to the right side of the back row. They'll set it up for Crum once again, and this one is hit out of bounds and a point for Mountain Home. So McCarn will serve once again, force serving one. Comes the serve, good serve. They set it up right to Crum. They go back to Crum on this side as it goes right to the middle of the back row. A hard hit for Crum, and it's 4-2. For Madison Crum, and it's 4-2 now. Sadie Jo Saunders to serve now. 2 serving 4, serves on the way, goes right to Schmitz as nobody's going to get there. It was a good serve, and it's an ace for Greenbrier. The lead is cut down to 1. Good serve again, goes to Chinkowski. Schmitz sets it up for Mages. Tried to loft it over, and the match is tied here in set number 1. So I think it was just 4 hits. I don't think there was a block in the front row. So another serve for Greenbrier, 4-4. Martz to Carson Schmitz, behind her to Vostatek. It's tipped in the front row. They're going to go back and set it up behind them. They go away from Crum. Jankowski over to the far side. Carson Schmitz taps it over, and it's a point for Mountain Home. Mia Jones and Lauren Rawls will come into the game now. Rawls will serve now. Mia Jones wears number 9, of course, in honor of her all-time idol, Tony Romo. So, very interesting choice of jersey number. That's why she wears 9, though. Rawls' serve goes to the middle of the back row. They set it up for Crum. Chankowski digs it out. May just hits it backwards. Martz has to go over her head. They barely get it over, and it's a good hit in the front row, as that is McEwen in the middle of the front row with the kill. Lady Bombers weren't there quick enough to get to the block, and it's 5-5. Crum will serve now, as this serve will go out of play. It's a point for Mountain Home. Would have to think, despite their record, I would think that Crum will get a lot of attention for all conference. She's still one of the better players in the conference, as Schmitz will serve now. Carson serves on the way, goes to the middle of the back row to the libero. They set it up to the far side. It's tapped in the air by Schmitz. It's going to hit off the roof support. Martz keeps this in. Jankowski has to put something on it, and it falls in between 2 Panthers. What a save, and a point for Mountain Home. It hit off the support beam in the roof, took a weird bounce, and Martz had to go all the way to the railing here to save that one. Looked like a left fielder trying to catch a foul ball. And it's 7-5 now. They go to the far side, and Schmitz digs it out of the ground, but it goes right in the net. A point for Greenbrier, 7-6 now. Carly Drury will come in for Carson Schmitz. She will play the back row. So it is Rawls, Drury, and Martz in the back row. Mages, Mia Jones, and Allie Chinkowski up front. Serves on the way. It's a good serve. Goes to Martz. Chinkowski sets it up for Mia Jones, who punches this one. Goes to the far side. A diving effort. Couldn't tell who that was, as Chinkowski will set it over to Mages in the middle. And it's a point and a kill for Mountain Home. 8-6 now. Anna McCarn will come back into the front row. Martz's serve, it's a good serve to the back row. They go to the far side now to Crum. McCarn hits it over the back of her head on the second hit, and this one's punched down by Martz, or dug out by Martz, excuse me. Sent over on the third hit. They loft it to the far side, goes right in the net, tickles the tape. Should have been the fourth hit. That's the fifth hit. That's the sixth hit. As it's hit over the net, it'll go out of play. Nobody blocked that one, and that should have been. It was hit more than 3 times. It was never blocked to the front row by Mountain Home. It went right into the base of the tape. I can't change it now. There's no instant replay. We can see it clearly up here, but officiating's a tough job. I wouldn't want to do it. Jankowski over to Anna McCarn. As this is a kill, nobody for Greenbrier was able to cover it. So the ball don't lie. It is 9-7 now. As Vostatek and Jackson will come in now. They will replace Mia Jones and Lauren Rawls. So Jackson will serve. The back row will consist of Jackson, Drury, Addison March. The front row will be Vostatek, McCarn, and Allie Chinkowski. Greenbrier returns it on the third hit. This one will go out just about a foot outside of the end line, and it's a point for Mountain Home. So Mountain Home's the first one to double digits here in set number 1. Let's serve on the way. Comes this way as this hard hit is out of play along the sideline. A point for Mountain Home. Their largest lead of the match so far here in set number 1. Serves on the way, comes to the middle. It's blocked by McCarn and Vostatek. Looked like it never crossed the plane of the net. As McCarn will tap this one. It's a kill and a point for Mountain Home. 12-7 our score now. Here in conference play, of course. Greenbrier's been on the struggle bus a little bit, but still be sneaky good. When you have a hitter like Crum up front, anything's possible. As ball comes to the near side, Drury digs it out. Chinkowski will set it to Vostatek on the far side. It's dug out. Great effort by number 16 of Greenbrier as Drury's not able to get there in time. And it's a point for Greenbrier. So 12-8 our score now. So those of you interested, Siloam Springs has defeated Van Buren in set 1, 25-22. A score of interest to some. As McCarn hits this one, it'll go into the bleachers and a point and a kill for Mountain Home. 13-8. Allie Chinkowski will serve. Serve on the way from Chinkowski. It'll go to the near side. Crum punches this one, and it barely grazes the sideline, and a point for Greenbrier. Other games going on in conference action. Siloam is at Van Buren. We'll have tabs on that one along with Russell. It's a point for Mountain Home. 15-9 now. McCarn's serve on the way. 15 serving 9. A good serve by her. Lofted over the net as McCarn wasn't it. She had a bad angle at it, but it's a point for Greenbrier as they reach double digits for the first time here in set 1. Well, the Greenbrier student bodies decide to stand up finally. Serves on the way, Chinkowski. Schmitz over to Mages. Mages taps it over. Falls just inside the sideline. A kill and a point for Mountain Home. So Lauren Rawls will serve now as Vostatek and Jackson will exit the ball game. Rawls will serve. The back row is Rawls, Martz, and Chinkowski. Up front, it is Mia Jones, Michaela Magis, and Carson Schmitz. Rawls ready to serve. Her serve's on the way. This will go to the middle of the back row. It's tapped over. They set it up for Crum. Blocked in the front row by Magis and Jones. They go up again, and this one's not blocked as it's a point for the Panthers of Greenbrier. Hard-hitting kill by Greenbrier. 16-11 now here at the Panther Pavilion. Sun's starting to set behind us here. Beautiful arena here, built in the year 2000. Serves on the way. Martz digs it out. May just sets it up for Schmitz behind her. Carson Schmitz lays the hammer down, and it's a kill. 17-11 now. So Carson Schmitz will go serve now. Junior varsity was successful in their voyage to win the JV matches. We'll have a timeout on the floor. 17-11, Coach Katie Huff takes her first timeout. Some good info here. Coming up here in a couple weeks, we'll have the Bomber tip-off Saturday, November 4th. That's the basically grand opening of Bomber basketball season. That'll start at 1 p.m. We will introduce our 7th, 8th, and 9th grade Bombers and Lady Bombers, and then our Lady Bomber High School and Bomber High School teams will play against alumni players. If you're an alumni and are interested in playing, contact myself, Dylan Conley. If you're a Bomber alumni, if you're a Lady Bomber alumni, contact Elisa Blaisdell. Should be a good game there, and then we hit the ground running the following week as Mountain Home will be playing a game. The Bomber boys will be playing a game in Memphis. Memphis, nothing but Memphis over there, as they will be playing the Paragould Rams, and Mountain Home will be in the Valley Springs tournament. The girls will be to start off their season. Some good teams over there, including, of course, Valley Springs girls and Farmington's girls. Haven't seen a full bracket yet, but nonetheless, as this one will go out of play, it is a point for Greenbrier. 17-12, our score now. Lead cut back down to 5, 17-12 now. Serves on the way, goes right to Drury. Chinkowski digs it out. Mia's got to tap it back over. As it comes back to the near side. Oh, there's a collision in the back row as Magis just lofts it over. Drury and Martz collided. They're both okay as this is hit right into the bottom of the net. A point for Mountain Home. 18-12 now here in set one. Martz's serve will go to the middle of the back row. A hard hit will go out of play. And a point for Mountain Home, 19-12. This is lofted back for Crum. Dug out by Rawls. Good hard hit from Crum. Lady Bombers are all over it. Mia taps this one. It's a kill for Mia Jones and a point for Mountain Home. And they're the first one into the 20s now. I believe all season only the first team to 20 in a set has gone on to win the set. All but 3 sets this year involving the Lady Bombers. This one tickles the tape by Martz. Comes to the near side. It's lofted over. Chinkowski draws it back to Drury, who loads it up for Jones. Another good hit from Mia as it will come this way. Now go to the far side. Jones digs it out. McCarn and Chinkowski collide as Rawls lofted over. Comes back this way as nobody's there to pick it up, and a point for Greenbrier. Of course, Mia Jones' little sister Ava Jones here on the bench for the Lady Bombers, joining the team here. Of course, Mia is a senior, and Ava's acting manager for the remainder of the season. Going to help the Lady Bombers out a little bit. Goes to the far side to McCarn, lofted over. As Crum will punch this one. Chinkowski over the far side to Jones as this one hits the antenna. A point for Greenbrier, 20-14. Ava Jones, part of our 9th grade Lady Bomber bunch, finished 3rd place in the 5A East Conference, or 2nd place in the 5A East Conference. They lost to, I believe, Jonesboro Annie Camp in the semifinals as Marion won that one for the 2nd straight year. Shout to the Marion Patriots. I think they went undefeated in the conference there, as this is a point for Greenbrier, 20-15. As Jill Daves wants a timeout, try to get the officials' attention. It's a timeout on the floor, 20-15. Jill uses her first timeout. She'll have 1 remaining here in set number 1. Another big event coming up for Mountain Home. The Memphis Grizzlies will be hosting the Mountain Home Bombers on November the 10th. Game will be at 1 p.m. on a Friday. Mountain Home Bombers will be playing against the Paragould Rams as they try to whoop that trick. Scan the QR code on your screen here next to the picture of Desmond Bain, about at his kneecap, to the right of his kneecap. Should be a good game. You can get tickets as low as $35. That will get you into the Bombers and Rams game. It is only a boys game, JV and varsity. In addition to that, you can get into the contest later that evening between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Utah Jazz. So should be a good, fun event there. 2nd straight year, the Bombers play a game in an NBA arena. Get your tickets now. 1 timeout left for each side as this is punched back to Martz. Jankowski over to the middle to Anna McCarn as this is lofted out, and now it's 21-15. Mountain Home with the lead. So Jackson will serve now. 21 serving 15. Jackson serves on the way, goes to the libero of Greenbrier. Crumb's hit is tipped by McCarn up front, and now they set it up for McCarn. Nobody there, and a kill for Mountain Home. And a timeout by Coach Katie Huff, her final timeout here in set number 1. So Greenbrier out of timeouts here in this first set. Lady Bombers have 1 remaining as they're playing a little sha-na-na. So we have another score update for you. Of course, it is not hard, or it is kind of hard to not want a scoreboard watch a little bit. Siloam Springs up 1-0 over Van Buren currently in set number 2. Siloam is up 14-6. That is senior night for Van Buren. That is in Pointer Arena. As this is lofted back to the middle as McCarn couldn't save it, and a point for Greenbrier as the student section stands back up. Lead's cut down to 6. A true blue Panther crew on their feet now. So with a win tonight, Siloam Springs would pretty much eliminate Van Buren from playoff contention. This one tickles the tape. It's dug out by Martz. Comes to the middle, Anna McCarn. This is saved by, I think that was Crum, as this is punched in the bottom of the net. Mountain Home 2 points away from a 1-0 lead here in Greenbrier. So Jankowski will serve. The back row will consist of her, Jackson, and Martz. The front row, Vostatek, Schmitz, and McCarn. Comes back this way to Crum, lofted over. Jankowski digs it out. The third hit will go to Vostatek. As it'll come this way to Crum, who punches this one. Jankowski loads it up for Martz. Comes to the near side. Schmitz lofts it over with one hand. As Crum will look like a hook shot, as this one will tickle the tape right over the net to the Greenbrier side. Crum will set it up, dug out by Mountain Home. Good defense by the Lady Bombers as Vostatek loads this one over. As this one's punched, and it will go out of play just about a foot outside of the corner. And it's set point for the Lady Bombers. So serve was on the way. Lady Bombers up 8 as this one will go over the net. Chinkowski over to Vostatek as this one will fall to the floor, and the Lady Bombers take set number 1 here in Greenbrier on the Panthers senior night. They will advance to set number 2. Lady Bombers with a 1-0 lead. Again, have a few big events coming up for Mountain Home. We will have the Bomber tip-off coming up next Saturday. Gosh, it's already here. The Bomber basketball team will open their season with the Bomber tip-off. We'll introduce our 7th, 8th, and 9th grade junior high teams, and then our Lady Bomber high school team will play a group of alumni, and then our Bomber boys will play a group of alumni after that. So action begin at 1 p.m. If you're an alumni interested in playing, contact myself or Elisa Blaisdell for more information. Our next broadcast of Bomber Athletics will be on Friday as we will hit the road to Siloam Springs. I believe it'll be their homecoming as they will welcome us to town. Siloam Springs in the midst of a 26-game losing streak in that one. So the Bombers trying to finish their season out strong. If the math serves me correctly, if Bombers run the table the rest of the way, they'll have a good shot of hosting a first-round playoff game, but they're trying to take it one game at a time, just trying to make the darn thing. So that'll be our next broadcast, and if the Bombers should make if the Lady Bombers should make the state playoffs, we'll have all that action for you from the brand new sparkling Lion Arena over in Searcy. I believe the game that the Lady Bombers would be slotted to play would be at 4 p.m. on Tuesday. Have to imagine that opponent would be Benton unless Lakeside has pulled off a monumental upset here this week. Now, Hot Springs Lakeside was a team that opened up the season with Mountain Home. So, again, a lot of stuff going on here as, again, we'll take a look at the 5A West standings. Of course, Mountain Home Greenbrier taking place in this match as Harrison, Greenwood, and Russellville have already punched their tickets to Searcy. Russellville sitting third. They can still lose third place if Siloam Springs wins out and Russellville doesn't win another match because Siloam would have the tiebreaker. But Greenbrier is already eliminated. Greenbrier and Alma the only ones that are mathematically eliminated from playoff contention. Siloam Springs currently in the 4th position. Mountain Home has the tiebreaker over them. Mountain Home and Van Buren sitting in 5th place at 5 and 7 along with Van Buren. So essentially what Mountain Home needs to win both of their matches this week, and Siloam Springs and Van Buren each need to lose a match over the next 2 matches for the Lady Bombers to continue their dance into the Class 5A state tournament. Well, one of those will happen tonight as Siloam Springs is at Van Buren. Siloam Springs with a 1-0 lead already in that one. As we're about ready to get things rolling here in set number 2. Lady Bombers have the lead. They won the first set 25-16. Greenbrier has now lost 24 of their last 27 conference sets. The only sets they won in the last roughly month and a half were against Siloam Springs, and that match went 5. As this Greenbrier Ball Club, who was, I believe they finished as the 2 seed last year in the 5A West, been relegated to tied for 7th, and at the moment they would essentially finish 8th because Alma does have the tiebreaker over them. Not like it matters, just a formality for all intents and purposes. As we're ready to get going here, as Greenbrier will serve, I believe. So it'll be Mountain Home serving, excuse me, I had it backwards. As Jackson will serve. Serves on the way, goes to the middle of the back row. Comes back to this side. Dug out by Martz, goes to the far side to Vostatek. Dug out by Martz as Vostatek just punches it way over. Clears the end line by about 5 feet. It's a point for Greenbrier. Chanley Wood to serve now, the daughter of Greenbrier Athletic Director Stephen Wood. Was part of the senior night festivities. Only 3 seniors for this Panther Ball Club. As this is set to Chinkowski, punched down by Vostatek. This will be blocked in the front row by McCarn and a point for Mountain Home. Mountain Home has the lead here or excuse me, they've tied it up here in set number 2. Mountain Home has the lead in the match, 1-0. Ball comes back this way to Crum as this is tapped by Martz. This will go into the third row of the bleachers. A point for Greenbrier. 2-1 our score. So Saunders will serve now. This will be Saunders into the game. Southall will serve now. Serves on the way. Goes to Martz, to Jackson to the far side. Carson Schmitz loads up as this one is saved and just lofted over with 2 hands by Greenbrier. They try Schmitz again. Comes back to the far side to Wood, and it's a point for Greenbrier. So an early 3-1 lead here in set number 2. Dalen Harper will come into the game. She will replace Aspen Vostatek. Aspen will head to the bench. Harper will go to the front row now. Serves on the way. Schmitz digs it out. They give it to Jackson. Back to McCarn, and this one will go out of play. It's 4-1 Greenbrier. Inauspicious start to this second set. Serves on the way, excuse me. Jackson to Carson Schmitz. It's lofted over and a point for Mountain Home, so they stop the bleeding. Lead's cut in half. Now it's 4-2. McCarn will serve now as Martz will head to the bench. It's lofted for Crum. Nobody is there for Mountain Home to cover it. She hit it where nobody was, and it's a point for Greenbrier, 5-2 here in set 2. Greenbrier serving now. Serves on the way. It will go to Allie Chinkowski. Schmitz will surprise him on the second hit. Lofted over, and it'll fall inside the sideline. A point for Mountain Home and a kill for Carson Schmitz. Mia Jones and Lauren Rawls will come in. Rawls will serve. Mia will go to the front row, as it is Jones, Schmitz, and Mages up front. In the back row will be Chinkowski, Martz, and Lauren Rawls serving. Rawls will serve on the way. Will go to the libero of Greenbrier. Comes back this way to Crum. Dug out by Chinkowski. Nobody was there to get it. A point for Greenbrier. And they've doubled up Mountain Home 6-3 here in set 2. Parker will serve now. Parker's serve on the way as this will go out of play. A point for Mountain Home and a service error for Greenbrier. 6-4 our score now. Mountain Home with a 1-0 lead as Schmitz will serve now. Schmitz's serve clears the net, goes to the right side of the back row as a lot of contact with the net there. They could have called a net violation, let it go. May just lofts this one over, and a lift violation is called. So a point for Greenbrier, 7-4 now. Drury will come into the ball game for Schmitz. Saunders to serve. Saunders serve on the way. Dug out by Drury to Chinkowski. Drury will send it over on the third hit. Comes to the near side. Comes right over the net. Chinkowski digs it out. Martz sends it back to Jones. Jones gets it to the back row. Lofted over. This will go right into the net and a point for Mountain Home. So 7-5 our score. Mountain Home on the low side right now. Martz will serve. 5 serving 7. McCarn will come into the ball game. Serves on the way from Martz. Blocked in the front row and a point for Mountain Home. 7-6 now. Martz will serve once again. Serves on the way. It goes right in the middle of the net. And well, the official never gave her the go to serve. So that's interesting. He even pointed it out, but they're still awarded the point to Greenbrier. Oh, an interesting moment there as Chenkowski sets it up for McCarn, who punches it home. 8-7 now, and the lead is down to 1. Jackson and Day Harper will come into the game now. Harper will go to the front row, and Jackson will serve. The back row is Jackson, Drury, and Martz. Front row consists of Chenkowski, McCarn, and Harper. The 6 for Mountain Home on the floor. Good serve by Jackson. Comes back this way to Crum, lofted over. Drury's there right on the case. Goes to the far side to Harper. Good to have Dalen Harper back. She missed a couple games with an injury as this is blocked. Never was touched. Should be the 4th hit. That's the 5th hit as Martz digs it back to McCarn. McCarn lofts it over. Almost Kareem-esque skyhook over the net, and that's a kill and a point for Greenbrier. 9-7 our score now. So that's 3 times now that they have not recognized that the ball wasn't blocked in the front row. And that's the first time it's come back to bite the Lady Bombers. Jackson to Martz, high in the air, back to Drury. Never got to the front row of Mountain Home. Comes back this way to Crum, and it's right inside of the sideline. And a point for Greenbrier, so they're the first one to double digits here in set number 2. As Carson Schmitz will come back into the ball game for Carly Drury. Greenbrier still serving, 10-7 now, 10 serving 7. Martz to Schmitz. Chenkowski will load up. The normal setter for Mountain Home took a swing there, and this is right into the net and a point for Mountain Home. 10-8 our score now. Chenkowski will serve now. Good serve by her, goes to the middle of the back row. They set it up for Crum as this one tickles the tape, rolls along the tape, falls to the floor, and a point for Greenbrier. Southall and Sanders will come back into the ball game. Southall to serve now. Serves on the way. Chenkowski to Martz. Back to the far side. Carson Schmitz, and it's a kill for the Lady Bombers. Mountain Home will serve once again. McCarn will serve. Majors back into the game for replacing Martz. McCarn will serve now. Serves on the way, goes out of play. And a point for Greenbrier, so the second service error of the set for Mountain Home. Gives Greenbrier a 3-point lead once again. And this will go over in the third hit to Crum. Man, this is blocked to the throw, not blocked well enough. A point for Greenbrier. And a timeout on the floor. Jill Daves calls it. First of the second set. 13-9 our score. Greenbrier with the lead. They've controlled this set pretty much the entire set. So again, we have multiple events coming up here, as we will have a big event coming up November 10th. Mountain Home Bomber basketball team will be playing a game in Paragould at the FedEx Forum. Fans who purchase tickets from the link below it to scan the QR code will be able to purchase a ticket as low as $35, upwards of $200 to be able to watch the Mountain Home Bombers take on the Paragould Rams. That ticket will also get you into the nightcap between the Utah Jazz and the Memphis Grizzlies. I believe the Grizzlies will be out. They will be without the services of one Ja Morant in that one. Well, usual suspects should still be there pending anything crazy going on the next week of the preseason. as this is a point for Greenbrier. So Greenbrier with their biggest lead of the night, 14-9. So this goes over the net. It's a point for Mountain Home, a service error for Greenbrier, and Mountain Home breaks into double digits. Rawls will serve now, leads down to 4. Goes to the right side of the back row. Schmitz digs it out. Chinkowski goes back to Carson Schmitz as this one will fall in. A point for Mountain Home and a kill for Carson Schmitz. (15-10) or 15-11. Wait a minute. Something's not right about that. Should be 14-11. The scoreboard in the building says 15. Goes back to Crum. Rawls digs it out. Goes to Schmitz. Lofts it back over. Crum digs it out as, well, discombobulated are the Panthers. McCarn sets it behind her to Schmitz as this one will go out of play. Now it's 15-11, so the scoreboard is correct. Hopefully it doesn't go to 16. They corrected it right at the end there. So it is 15-11. Greenbrier serving. Serves on the way, goes back to Martz. Mages to the near side, Carson Schmitz. Her hit will go out of play. A point for Greenbrier, 16-11. Served by Greenbrier on the way. Chinkowski loads it up. Mages lofts it over. It'll go out of play. A point for Greenbrier. Looked like they could have called a line violation if they wanted to. They just had her whole foot over the line, but officials let that one go. Greenbrier will serve once again. 17 serving 11. Chinkowski over to Schmitz, taps it over. Comes back this way. Lined up and dug out by Martz. Chinkowski over to Carson Schmitz, and it's a kill for Schmitz and a point for Mountain Home. So the lead's cut down to 5. Carson Schmitz will serve now. J.C. Mobley will come in. Schmitz ready to serve. Her serve's on the way. It's dug out. They'll go to the near side. I think that was Southall. Tried to block it in the front row. Chinkowski sends it to the back row of Greenbrier. Crum punches this one right into the net and a point for Mountain Home. So Carson Schmitz will serve once again here in set number 2. Katie Huff of Greenbrier has 2 timeouts remaining here in the second set. Mountain Home has already used 1, so they'll have 1 remaining in this second set. They come back this way to Crum as this one will go out of play. A point for Mountain Home. The lead's down to 3 as Katie Huff will use one of her 2 timeouts right here. 17-14, Greenbrier with the lead here in set 2. As we are in the timeout here. So again, a check of the 5A West standings. Russellville's already clinched a spot along with Greenwood and Harrison. Harrison is the conference champion. Greenwood and Russellville can still trade places and get the second seed. Siloam Springs, if they win both this week, they'll clinch the 4th spot. Mountain Home and Van Buren tied for 5th at 5-7. Greenbrier is out of the race along with Alma at 2-10. Mountain Home needs 2 wins this week and a loss from Siloam Springs and Van Buren to continue to the 5A West State Tournament. So we'll keep tabs on that. Currently, Siloam Springs up 2-0 on Van Buren over at Pointer Arena. It's got a fancier name than that. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it's over in Van Buren right now. It is the Pointer Senior Night. As this is blocked in the front row. Good job by Magis and Chinkowski to block that one. As Schmitz punches this one over. They'll set it up for Magis. Pushes it back with 2 hands. Lofted to the front row. They'll set it up. Blocked in the front. On the second hit, it's sent right to Schmitz. Chinkowski back to Carson Schmitz. Set right to the libero Wood. on the other side. Schmitz digs this one out again. Schmitz with a big smile on her face. Punches this one. It's tipped, and it's a kill for Mountain Home. 17-15 now. Mountain Home clawing back into this one. Schmitz will serve here. 15 serving 17. It is lofted back to the far side. They set it up for Crum. It is a point. Excuse me, that was Mia Southall. Saunders will serve now. 18-15. Greenbrier with the lead. Serves on the way as it's an ace. 19-15 now. So it's an ace for Mountain Home, or for Greenbrier, excuse me. Serves on the way, goes to Martz. Schmitz lays it up for Mages, punches this one right to Wood of the back row. Comes back this way to Crum, blocked by Mages. This one blocked again by Mages, and a net violation is called, and Greenbrier is the first one to 20 here in set 2. Dug out by Rawls. Schmitz back to Mages. That'll be a hard hit from the back row by Crum. And loaded up for Jones, and Jones will have a kill. So Mia Jones cuts the lead down to 4. Mountain Home will serve now as McCarn will enter the game, replacing Mages, as Rawls will serve now. Rawls, Schmitz, and Addison Martz will be in the back row. Martz to serve now. Jones, Chinkowski, and McCarn up front for the Lady Bombers. Loaded up this way. Good block in the front row. They could have called a lift there in the back, but it was called otherwise. Chinkowski loads it up for Carson Schmitz from the 10-foot line. Comes back this way to Crum. Hard hit, dug out by Rawls. Schmitz lines it up, and they're going to call a line violation on Carson Schmitz. There's been far worse ones that they've let go in this one, but it was a line violation nonetheless, so can't get too mad at the call if it is the correct call, even though they've let worse go by. Greenbrier will serve. Serves on the way, goes right in the net. Service error for Greenbrier and a point for Mountain Home. Jackson will serve now, 17 serving 21. As this one is punched down, it'll be a point. Man, that one was loud by Crum, 22-17. So Chanley Wood will serve now. As McCarn hit that one out of bounds along the sideline, 23-17. Jill Daves has a timeout remaining. I believe she'll use that here. Wood will serve once again. Serve goes back to Schmitz, back to Chinkowski, loads it up for Harper, taps it over into the net, and a point for the Lady Bombers. Chinkowski will be back to serve. Serves on the way. Comes back, blocked to the front row, lofted back over by Harper on the first hit. They go back this way to Crum, blocked in the front row. Should have been 4 hits. Looked like it just hit the net. This one will fall to the ground, and the lead's down to 4. So Chinkowski will serve, 19 serving 23. Comes back this side as Crum punches this one. Nobody touched it, and it's a point for Mountain Home, and they're into the 20s now. So Mountain Home's cut the lead down to 3. Chinkowski's serve goes to the back row to Wood. Comes back this way to Crum and will go out. Oh, they call it in. It'll be set point for Greenbrier. Looked like it was out by about 1.5 feet. I mean, the line judge is standing right in front of it. Either way, it is 24-20. Can't change it now. Nobody overruled him, so had two guys there staring at it, so I could see it from 60 feet away, but they couldn't, as this will fall to the ground, and that's a point for Greenbrier, and they will take set number 2. So Lady Panthers knot things up here in the Panther Pavilion. So 1-1 our score now. Lady Bombers need a W in this one. Well, they will have to at least go to a 4th set no matter what happens here. Couple big events coming up here. Next broadcast of Bomber Athletics. We will have the Bomber football team in action. Their first time. They were off last week. They were taking on, many people said, Village Academy. That's a long-running joke. Google it. The Village Academy Beavers. That's a big funny joke. That's a story for a different day. Mountain Home will be taking on the Siloam Springs Panthers. Siloam Springs in the midst of a 26-game losing streak. Kickoff will be at 7 p.m. The Doc Brad Coleman and company will have all the action for you here on the Bomber Sports Network. You can catch it on Classic Hits 101.7 as well as streaming live, KTLO.com. You are also our friends at XL7 TV will have the action for you. Join Bob Rechtenwald and company as they'll bring you all the action. You can catch it on Antenna 26. I can't remember all the other channels off the top of my head, but if it's XL7 and you got it on your TV or your TV dial, you can get Bomber football. We just want more people to be able to listen and watch Bomber athletics here. So kickoff will be at 7. We'll have the Coach Steve Airy pregame show about 6 o'clock here on the Bomber Sports Network on Friday. And then we'll have all the action from Panther Stadium, Northwest Arkansas, right next to the Oklahoma border. So a few events coming up here in Bomber Nation. We will have the Bomber tip-off Saturday, November 4th. That'll be at 1 p.m. We'll introduce our 7th, 8th, and 9th grade Bomber and Lady Bomber basketball teams. And then our Lady Bomber high school team and our Bomber high school team will be playing alumni games against a cavalcade of characters from years past here in Mountain Home. A couple big names coming back here. Of course, all of our guys and our girls that are playing currently in college will not be able to play, but they'll probably make an attempt to be there in attendance. I believe our own Emma Martin said she was going to try to make it. Wyatt Gilbert mentioned he might try to make it. A few others as well. Should be a good event, good fun way to kick off the season. Then we hit the ground running the next week. The Lady Bombers will be in the Valley Springs tournament. And the Bombers will start their season as they will have a game in Memphis. The Mountain Home Bombers will play the Paragould Rams at the FedEx Forum on November 10th. That's a picture of Desmond Bain there. Scan the QR code to the right of Mr. Bain to get you a ticket for that one. You can get tickets as low as $35 on up to $140. That ticket will get you into the Bombers and Rams game. It's only a boys game. It's JV and varsity only. And then that evening, catch the nightcap between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Utah Jazz. It'll be a good homecoming in that one. I believe Mike Conley's still on the Utah Jazz, the godfather of grit and grind basketball. Join us as the Bombers will try to whoop that trick on November the 10th. Should be a good, fun game over there. Grizzly game's always fun. No matter how good or bad they're doing, the Grizzlies, for the most part, the last 10, 15 years have been pretty good. And the 2 years that they were bad, they ended up with probably the best player in the draft, Ja Morant. They'll be without the services of one Ja Morant for the first 25 games this year. Either way, it'll be a good game, so can't wait for that one. So Greenbrier will serve to start off set number 3. Serves on the way. This one will go out of play. It's a good start for Mountain Home as they will have the lead 1-0. A service error to start things in the third set. Jankowski will serve. Goes to Wood in the back row. They loft it back this side to Crum as this one is dug out by Jackson. Jankowski over to Carson Schmitz, lines it right in the net. A point for Greenbrier, and it's 1-1. Wood will serve now. Chanley Wood. Wood's serve goes to the right side, back to Schmitz. Jackson saves it. It's blocked in the front row. Carson Schmitz punches that one. That one had some mustard on it. Crum returns it as this is loaded back to Jackson. Schmitz has to hit it over her head for the third hit. Comes back to this side. Crum punches it right to Jackson. Had it lined up perfectly as this will graze over the net by about 1.5 feet as they load it up for Crum once again, and the third time's the charm. So Madison Crum has another kill as Greenbrier has the lead here in set 3. Chanley Wood to serve once again. Wood's serve goes to Martz. Jackson back to Carson Schmitz. Lofted over the net. Comes back to Crum as this is another kill. Madison Crum, a one-girl wrecking crew right now. As this is saved, we'll go back to the back row. Crum loads up once again, and nobody's there, and it's a point for Crum and a point for Greenbrier. Jill Dave's already going to burn a timeout here. She's tired of hearing Madison Crum's names called over the PA system, so she will call a timeout, try to settle things down and talk things over defensively. 4-1 our score here in the third set. Glad you're with us here on the Bomber Sports Network this evening. This will be our last regular season broadcast of Lady Bomber Volleyball. If they make the 5A state playoffs, we'll be there for you from Cersei Lion Arena. Beautiful facility there down in called Central Northeast Arkansas, kind of right in the middle there. About 2.5 hour drive from Mountain Home. They'll play at 4 o'clock if they make it. Lady Bombers, if they should make it, can only get the 4 seed, so they'll play at 4 o'clock with an opponent I believe to be determined. I think it's going to be Benton, unless Hot Springs Lakeside has pulled off something amazing. So Wood will serve once again. Jill Davis has 1 timeout left in the third set. Serves on the way as this is right to the net, and a point for Mountain Home on the service error. So Magis will exit. McCarn will serve. Magis will go to the front row. A lot of M's everywhere. McCarn will serve. Lined over the net. Chinkowski digs it out. Schmitz lines it up for Magis. Two-hand pushes it over. Comes back this way to Crum, and another kill for Madison Crum. 5-2 our score. So Greenbrier will serve now. Saunders will be back to serve. Southall also checks into the game. Serves on the way, goes back to Jackson. Magis saves it. Has to be lofted over by Martz. Come back this way. They're going to load it up for Crum once again as it's another kill. 5 straight points ending in a Madison Crum kill for the Lady Bombers here in set 3. Serves on the way. Jankowski back to Harper. Punches that one over. 6-2 our score. Pancaked by Martz as this one will go out of play. A point for Greenbrier. 7-2 here in set 3. So Greenbrier will continue to serve. Serves on the way. Jankowski to Schmitz, over to Magis on the far side as this one will go out of play along the sideline. A point for Greenbrier. So Deanna Human will come in. She will replace Michaela Magis. Serves on the way. Martz digs it out. Schmitz back to Harper, and this one's a kill, and it stops the bleeding. So the Lady Bombers are on the board. 8-3 now. Stops a 6-0 run. So Rawls and Jones will come in. Jones will go to the front row, joining Schmitz and Human. Rawls, Martz, and Chinkowski in the back row. Rawls will serve now. Rawls serve on the way. This goes to the left side of the back row to Wood. They load it up this way to the middle. Chinkowski lines it straight up, and it's lofted backwards by Martz. Come back this way to Crum. It's lofted right over, grazes the net, finds its way over to the Greenbrier side. Crum loads up. Martz digs this one out. Goes to the far side. Carson Schmidt says this one will go out, and a point for Greenbrier. Madison Crum will serve now. Rawls, Schmitz lines it over, surprises him on the second hit, and a point for Mountain Home. Schmitz will serve now. Carson serves on the way, crosses over the net. Line back this way. They'll go to the far side. As this is blocked in the front row, it'll fall to the ground and a point for Mountain Home. 9-5 our score now. It'll be 5 serving 9, 5 serving for the Lady Bombers. Carson Schmitz. Officials given the go as Schmitz will serve. Goes to Wood in the back row. Comes back this way as Crum times it up. And it's blocked in the front row, but no one's there to cover it. So Greenbrier's the first one to double digits. It's a good block by Heumann and Jones, but nobody was there in time to block it or to cover the block. Hallie Parker to serve now. Parker serve on the way as this one will go out, and a point for Mountain Home. Another service error for the Lady Panthers. Magis and McCarn will come in. Actually, McCarn will get Heumann, and McCarn will exit for... Magis will get Heumann, and McCarn will get Magis in the switch around for the libero. Magis will now go to the bench, and Martz will go to the back row and serve. So it's topped over the net, was tapped by McCarn, so they'll have a fresh set of hits. This one is a point for Greenbrier. Mia Southall with the kill, 11-6 now. Saunders to serve now. Her serve will go to Chinkowski, loads it up for McCarn. Wasn't the greatest set ever, but it got there. Comes back this way as Rawls went off her hands, and this will go into the bleachers. 12-6 now. Greenbrier with the lead. Serves on the way, grazes the tape. Chinkowski over to McCarn, who that was something fierce. That was a kill for Mountain Home and a kill for McCarn. That one left a vapor trail as Harper and Jackson will come into the game, replacing Rawls and Mia Jones. 12-7 now. 7 serving 12 and 7 serving for Mountain Home. Jackson's serve will go back to Wood in the back row. Comes back this way as it's blocked in the front row by McCarn, and a point for Mountain Home. So Jackson will serve once again, leads down to 4. Jackson's serve will graze the end line, and a point for Mountain Home. Good call by the line judge there. He thought about it for a second, but it was the correct call. Looked like it could have been 50-50, so glad he chose our 50. Jackson's serve will go to Wood in the back row right at the 10-foot line. They load it up for Crum at the 10-foot line, and this is a kill and a point for Greenbrier, so it stops the mini run for Mountain Home and leads back to 4. McCarn and couldn't remember who that was. It blocked in the front row. They just didn't block close enough. They didn't have their hands at the right angle or whatever it may have been, but so Mobley will serve now. J.C. Mobley. as they're heading to a fourth set over Van Buren. Van Buren's won the third set. It's 2-1. Favor of the Panthers of Siloam Springs. Jankowski over to Harper. Harper punches this one, and it's a kill for Dalen Harper. And a point for Mountain Home, and they're into double digits now. Jankowski will go back to serve. Jankowski, Jackson, and Martz in the back row. McCarn, Harper, and Schmitz up front. Served by Jankowski. It was a knuckleball. Comes back this way to Crum as it goes right to Martz. Lost her balance. They'll go back to Jackson, who, oh my goodness, it went right to the front row of the bleachers. It was a hard hit, but wasn't able to keep it in. 14-10, Greenbrier now. As they're going to request a lineup check for Greenbrier. As Wood will go back to serve. Still talking things over about the rotation for Greenbrier. I think we're all good to go here. Officials talked it over. Don't really know what the issue was. Seemed like everything was all in order. So Schmitz will dig this out. Jackson sets it up behind for Schmitz, who has to hit it over her head. They will come back this way. Crum times it, loads up, and it'll go out of play. And a point for Mountain Home. 14-11 now. So Anna McCarn will serve as Martz will head to the bench. Magis will come back in. Or excuse me, no, Deanna Human is back in. Comes back this way to Crum as this is a kill. Punch right to Jankowski. As we get a ching from the arena announcer on that kill. Sadie Jo Saunders to serve now. 15-11. Greenbrier on the high side here in set 3. We're all knotted up at 1. Serves on the way, dug out by Jankowski to Schmitz. Behind her to Harper. As in desperation, Greenbrier gets it over. Jankowski sets it up for Schmitz, and it's a kill and a point for Mountain Home. A kill for Carson Schmitz, and the lead's down to 3. Jones and Rawls will come back in. Harper and Jackson will head to the bench. Rawls will serve now. Jones will go to the front row, joining Human and Schmitz. Rawls will be in the back row with Martz and Ali Jankowski. Rawls serve goes to the left side of the back row to Wood. Come back this way to Crum as this is a kill. They went right at Martz. 16-12 now. Martz couldn't get a good handle on it. Crum to serve now. Serves on the way. Grazes the net, almost grazes the net. Schmitz loads it up for Jones. Has to go to weird angle, and it's a point for Greenbrier. 17-12 here in set number 3. Served by Crumbs on the way. It will go out of play. It's a service error and a point for Mountain Home. Carson Schmitz will serve now. Schmitz's serve. Goes back, comes to the far side as this is a kill. And Southall with the kill. Okay, Mountain Home was a step slow there, 18-13. Greenbrier with the lead. Lead's just kind of hovered around 5 since it was 7-2. Matched blow for blow pretty much since that point, but sadly enough, Greenbrier was able to get a little bit of a lead, and they find themselves leading. Martz back to Schmitz, over to Rawls, who has to loft it over on the third hit in desperation. Come back this way to Crum from the 10-foot line. Rawls digs it out. Jankowski to Mia Jones as this one will go out, and a point for Greenbrier. 19-13 now as Jill Daves will spend her final timeout here in set 3. Greenbrier leading 19-13. Again, join us Thursday night. Lady Bombers will close out their season on senior night, close out the regular season. As we have the JV contest at 4:30, we'll welcome the Alma Airedales to town as they will come to the hangar for that one. JV again will be at 4:30. The junior varsity JV contest will start at 4:30. Then the senior night festivities will take place after as we honor Mia Jones, Carson Schmitz, and Jaden Davis. And that ceremony shouldn't take too long. And then the varsity contest will begin. That'll be the regular season finale for the Lady Bombers. So 19-13 here in set 3. Mountain Home on the low side. They did win set number 1. 25-16. Greenbrier won the second one, 25-20, and now we sit at 19-13. And set 3 as Rawls mishandled that one. A point for Greenbrier. So the first one to 20 here in set 3. Serves on the way. 20 serving 13. Schmitz loads it back to Chinkowski. Here they come back this way to Crum as it goes out of play. A point for Mountain Home, 20-14. They'll lead back down to 6 as Mages will get Human, who will immediately come out for McCarn. McCarn will go to the front row. Rawls is in the back row with Schmitz, and Martz will serve now. Front row will be Chinkowski, McCarn, and Mia Jones. Come back this way. Blocked in the front row and a point for Mountain Home. 20-15. Good block by McCarn. Good serve. Goes back to Wood. They load it up to the far side as it's a kill and a point by Mia Southall. 21-15. Saunders will come in, and she will serve. Serves on the way. We'll go back to Schmitz. Chinkowski loads it up. McCarn punches that one home, and it's a point for Mountain Home and a kill for Anna McCarn. Harper and Jackson will come in. They'll replace Jones and Rawls. Jackson will go to serve. Harper will go to the front row, joining McCarn and Chinkowski. Jackson joins Schmitz and Martz in the back row. Jackson serve. Goes to the middle of the back row. They load it up for Crum. This one will go out of play. 21-17. Mountain Home cuts the lead down to 4. Oh, Jackson to serve once again. Comes back this way. Jackson digs it out. Chinkowski over to Harper. Punches this one. A point for Mountain Home, and the lead's down to 3. As Coach Katie Huff will call timeout here in set 3. She'll use her first timeout. She'll have one remaining. 21-18 our score. Greenbrier clinging to a lead here, trying to go up 2-1 in this best-of-5 match. Again, our next broadcast of Bomber Athletics will be Friday as the Bomber football team will rejoin action off of their bye week as they will hit the road, take on Siloam Springs. Kickoff will be at 7 p.m. The Steve Airy pregame show will be at around 6 p.m. Just keep it ready on the TV. Join the Doc Brad Coleman and company for all the action on the radio. They'll be on Classic Hits 101.7 at KTLO.com. They will be simulcast. Their audio will be simulcast with our video. Join our friends at XL7 who will help us provide video for that. Check them out, Antenna Channel 26.1. Jackson serve will go to Wood in the back row. They will load it up to the left side for Southall. It's blocked in the front. Crum punches this one, and it's blocked and tipped, but it's a point for Mountain Home. Another kill for Crum, and it's 22-18. Mobley to serve now. Schmitz saves this one. Comes back to the near side. Crum punches this one, and it falls in. Inbound, and it's a point for Greenbrier, 23-18. 2 points away from taking a 2-1 lead here on senior night. Serve goes right in the net. Mountain Home closes the lead back down to 4. Fourth service error of the set for Greenbrier. So Chinkowski will serve now. Jankowski's serve goes right to Wood. Comes back this way to Crum as this one is saved over. Might have went out of play if Wood let it go. They go back to Crum. It's blocked in the front row and a point for Mountain Home. A lot of stuff happened there. The PA announcer still announcing Chinkowski is the server while she's serving. That's a big no-no. As a hard hit by Crum. Would have went out of bounds if Wood let it go, but she decided to return it. As this is lofted over on the third hit. Comes back this way. Carson Schmitz puts it in the net, and it's set point for Greenbrier. So Wood will serve now. I don't know what they're doing here with the rotation. Chanley Wood will go back to serve. They had to do a little dance there to get it all figured out. But Wood's serve will go to Schmitz, to Jackson, over to Harper, as this one will go out of play, and Greenbrier takes a 2-1 lead. So we will head to a fourth set. Greenbrier on the high side. So the Lady Bombers will need to win the next 2 sets to get out of Greenbrier with a victory. So they'll talk things over in the huddle. Lady Bombers will drop the last 2 sets, 25-20. The first set was won by Mountain Home, 25-16. So it's been a good match so far. It's the best Greenbrier's played in a little bit. You know, it's their first game of the year inside their basketball arena. They played it in their volleyball arena, their whole season inside the volleyball arena. So a little extra fire behind them, as it is also senior night. Good little crowd here in the Panther Pavilion. So about 2.5 minutes till we get things going here. Once again, we do have a lot of events coming up. Again, Bomber football is going to be in action Friday. You can catch the Doc Brad Coleman on the call and company. Catch that on Classic Hits 101.7 and KTLO.com. We're simulcasting their audio with XL7's video to bring you a product on the Bomber Sports Network. The Steve Airy pregame show will be at about 6 o'clock. And then we will have the action kickoff at 7 o'clock from Panther Stadium in Siloam, about a hop, skip, and a jump from the Oklahoma border. Should be a good one there. The Bombers trying to end their small little losing streak here in conference play, as they're trying to fight for playoff positioning in the 6A West. The next 3 games will be very big for them, as they will welcome Van Buren for senior night in 2 weeks. And then the week after that, they will hit the road back here in Greenbrier at the football field right behind us here. So a few other big events coming up here. We will have on November the 4th at 1 p.m. on a Saturday, we will have the Bomber tip-off. That's the big opening for the Bomber basketball season, as we will introduce our 7th, 8th, and 9th grade Lady Bomber and Bomber basketball teams. And then our Lady Bomber high school team will play against an eclectic buffet of former alumni. They'll come back. And then our Bomber boys will play other alumni. A few big names will be back. And then when you have to come over and check it out, you can contact myself or Elisa Blaisdell if you're an alumni and would like to participate in that event. Also want to send a shout out to our doubles pairing in tennis, Finley Chafin and Piers Blackman. As they lost today, they had an unbelievable season as a doubles pairing. They lost to Bentonville in the semis, but they ended up as 5A West runners-up, and they were also state runners-up as a boys team. Coach Skylar King and company doing good things with the tennis program. They're going to be pretty loaded the next year, I believe. I don't think there's too many seniors on the boys and girls squads. So it'll be fun to keep up with them next year, but a great season by them. As I believe we'll have Pierce at Finley at the game on Thursday. We'll give them a little shout out during one of the sets, or in between one of the sets, as they will have their Class 5A state runner-up trophy in hand with them. So that'll be fun. Shout out to them. They've had an excellent season. I don't think they dropped a match till they got to the state tournament, as having a little discussion about the lineup. On the Greenbrier side, I think we're all set to go. So we're getting ready to go here. I believe Mountain Home will serve. I don't know what the holdup is with the lineup. They got it all squared away. And now they will check the Mountain Home side, as Martz will go into the game, replacing Mages. She will go into her spot. It'll be in the back row, Carly Drury, Kara Jackson, and Addison Martz. The front row will be Anna McCarn, Aspen Vostatek, and Allie Chinkowski. So Mountain Home has their backs against the wall. They will need to win the next 2 sets to stay alive in this one. Jackson's serve on the way, goes back to Wood. They go to the near side. They set it up for Crum. It's blocked in the front row, and a point for Mountain Home. Jackson will serve once again. Serves on the way. Wood digs it out. They're going to set it up for Crum. You can see it coming a mile away, as this is another kill and a point for Greenbrier. Again, glad you're here with us on the Bomber Sports Network this evening. On behalf of the Mountain Home School District, I'm Dylan Conley. Glad you're here with us from Greenbrier. Wood will serve. Serves on the way, and it's an ace for Greenbrier, and they have the lead 2-1. So it's an ace for Wood, and it's 2-1 Greenbrier. Wood serves on the way. Goes to Martz, to Chinkowski, to the middle, to McCarn. Nobody's there, and it's a kill for Anna McCarn and a point for Mountain Home. Chinkowski will serve, as the PA announcer still talking while she's serving. They would stop the match if I was doing that at Mountain Home, as this one will go out of play. A point for Mountain Home, and they have reclaimed the lead. Chinkowski sends it to the back row, comes to this side to Crum, as this is dug out by Jackson. Nobody will get to it, and we're square up at 3. So Greenbrier will serve now. Sadie Saunders and Mia Southall will come into the game. Southall will serve. Still keeping tabs over in Van Buren. Siloam and Van Buren knotted up at 15 in set 4. Siloam with the lead 2-1 in that one. Jackson loads it up for Carson. Schmitz punches that one. It's a kill for Schmitz and a point for Mountain Home. So McCarn will go back to serve. Martz will go to the bench. McCarn will serve. 21, can you do something for me here? Her serve's on the way. It's a good serve. It'll go to the middle of the back row. They'll line it up for Crum. As this one is punched home. It was blocked by Magis and Schmitz, but they weren't able to keep it in play, so someone could cover it, and it's 4-4. So Crum will serve now. Here comes the serve, dug out by Chinkowski. Vostatek saves it, goes to Martz, who hits it over her head on the third hit. It will come back this way. It's tapped over. Martz digs it out. Chinkowski sets it up for Vostatek. Little hook shot as it's tipped in. It'll be a point for Mountain Home on the far sideline. Mia Jones and Lauren Rawls will come in. Mia will join in the front row along with Schmitz and Mages. Rawls will go back to serve and join the back row with Vostatek, Chinkowski and Martz as well. This is set right to Wood. Come back to the far side. Blocked in the front row. Nobody's going to get there, and it's a 2-point lead for Mountain Home in set number 4. So Rawls will serve once again. As this one's mishandled, Crum's got to hit it over her head. Now Greenbrier in desperation. Rawls saves it. It'll go over the net. Tapped over the net. Chinkowski saves it. Back to Rawls. Schmitz times this one up. Two-hand taps it back over. Wood digs it out. It'll come back this way. On the third hit, they set it up for Carson Schmitz, who lays down the hammer, and a point for Mountain Home. Another kill for Carson, and Mountain Home leads by 3 in this 4th set. Rawls serves on the way. It will go to the left side of the back row to Crum. They'll load up for Crum again at the 10-foot line, as this is a kill and a point for Greenbrier. Hey, Madison Crum's been a one-girl wrecking crew tonight. I'd have to guess she's pretty close to the early to mid-20s in kills tonight. She's an excellent player. She's only a junior, so the Lady Bombers will have to deal with her in the future, depending on how the conference realignment goes after this year, because that'll be a thing this next cycle. As Jones punches this one, it's dug out. They're going to load it up to the near side to Southall. Martz digs it out. Chinkowski over to Carson Schmitz. And a line violation and a point for Mountain Home. So it's they call it a net violation. It's actually a line violation. Couldn't tell who it was. I believe it was Southall, had her whole leg across the line. So Carson Schmitz will serve, the younger of 2 Schmitz sisters. Riley, the older sister over at U of A right now, was a Lady Bomber volleyball player. Chinkowski clears that one over on the first hit. Nobody there to pick it up as Schmitz dug it out. As that was Allie Fulmer with the kill there, if you want to call it that. It is a kill by definition. It was a little weak, though. It was a little miscommunication by Mountain Home, but I think they'll get it figured out. 8-6 our score, 6 serving 8. Serves on the way, as it'll be an ace for Greenbrier. So an ace for Saunders. If I remember correctly, she's wearing a big knee brace on her left knee, along with a knee sleeve and, of course, the usual knee pads. If I remember right, she had a pretty bad knee injury over the course of last year, but she's playing, she's healthy, so May just punches this one over. They go to the near side, Southall, and it's a point for Greenbrier. It's tied up at 8. So a 3-0 run by Greenbrier now sees the game tied at 8 here in set 4. Serves on the way. Drury digs it out. Chinkowski over to Mia Jones. Two-hand taps it over. Nobody there. A kill for Jones and a point for Mountain Home. So point number 9 is scored by number 9, Mia Jones. McCarn will go back to the front row, replacing Mages. Addison Martz, the libero for Mountain Home, will serve. Martz' serve on the way, clears the net by about a foot. They were going to load it up to the near side to Southall. Martz digs it out, back to Chinkowski, lofts it in the air. Martz has to hit it over on the third attempt. Comes back this way, they'll load it up behind her as Chinkowski's there to cover the block. Rawls sets it up for Jones, who has to hit it over. It was going to stay in, so Crum digs it out. They load it up for Southall as Martz can't handle it, and it'll go out of play, and it's a point for Greenbrier, and we're tied at 9. Mobley will check in now to serve. J.C. Mobley, that is. Serve on the way from Mobley. Rawls digs it out. Jankowski up top to Anna McCarn in the middle. Goes back this way to Crum as it is a kill. It is, I tell you what, it was right in front of the 10-foot line. There wasn't much Lady Bobbers could do there. And Greenbrier's the first one to double digits. You know what, Greenbrier has played very mistake-free tonight. A little fire behind them. It is their senior night. They are out of the state playoffs, and they're trying to play spoiler tonight for Mountain Home. Comes back this way to Crum once again. It's blocked, and it's saved, and a desperation and a point for Mountain Home. They weren't able to return it. It hit the floor, but there was also a line violation. So it was going to be a point for Mountain Home regardless, as Vostatek and Jackson will come in. Jackson will go back to serve. Vostatek will go to the front row. So Kara Jackson will serve now. 10-10 our score. Jackson's serve clears the net, goes to the left side of the floor, comes back this way to Crum. Martz digs it out. Jankowski to the far side to Vostatek. It's tipped in the air, and desperation. There's no lift called. It should have been a lift. McCarn punches this one. This one is saved as well. They go to Crum, and it's going to be a point for Greenbrier. After, man, that's that's about as bad a lift as I've seen that they let go. So it's 11-10 now. Greenbrier serving. McEwen serving. Jankowski to the middle to McCarn as they respond right back. 11-11 now. 11-11, make a wish as Crum is going to talk to the official. Wanting an explanation for something, as they're going to have a discussion. Jankowski will serve at the completion of this discussion. Coach Katie Huff had a question. Couldn't see what she was talking about, but Coach Huff's a whole lot smarter than I am. Both these coaches are. Of course, that's a low bar as Crum lines it up. It's blocked in the front row by McCarn with one hand. Come back this way to Crum as it just grazes the sideline. And it's a point for Greenbrier. So Greenbrier to serve, leading 12-11. Serves on the way, tickles the tape and falls on the Greenbrier side. It's 12-12. We're all tied up as McCarn will go back to serve. Majors will come in, replacing Martz. Well, it's all over in Van Buren. Siloam Springs has won 3-1. So that has eliminated Van Buren from state playoff contention. All intents and purposes, as just misses the end line. And it's a service error and a point for Greenbrier. Crum to serve now, 13-12, 13 serving 12. Here it comes from Crum. Jankowski digs it out. Martz goes back to Magis, has to hit it over her head. High arcing hit. They will come back this to the far side as it's tipped in the air. Jackson saves it, almost hits the line judge as Schmitz will hit it over her head. They will come back this way and reset the defense. They'll come this way. Jankowski digs it out. Jackson goes back. Vostatek has to hit it over. They'll come back this way to Southall. Jankowski digs it out. Martz will set it up. Vostatek's going to hit this one over the net, right to Wood in the back row. Comes back this way, and it's out of play and a point for Mountain Home. Just outside the end line. 13-13 now. Jones and Rawls will check back in. Jones to the front row, joining Magis and Carson Schmitz. Rawls will serve, joining the back row with Jankowski and Martz. Rawls will serve, will go white to Wood in the back row. They'll set it up for Southall once again. Try to tip in the air as it's a point for Greenbrier, 14-13. So Greenbrier to serve now, 14 serving 13. McEwen will serve. Here it comes on the way to Martz in the back row. May just sets it up for Carson Schmitz. Been awful quiet as she is now no longer quiet, and it's a kill and a point for Mountain Home. Schmitz with the kill, and it's 14-14. Looking like a football score here in set 4. Schmitz will serve now. Schmitz's serve will go back to Wood in the back row. They'll set it up to the far side. Rawls digs this one out. Martz will track it down right at the basketball baseline. Good Lord, I can't remember my sports. This is hitting the front row. Rawls digs it out. Back to Martz as Chinkowski will tap it over with 2 hands. They will go to the far side as they mistimed it, and Mountain Home reclaims the lead, 15-14 here in the 4th set. So Schmitz will serve once again. Schmitz's serve on the way. It'll go to the right side of the back row. They'll come back this way to Southall. It's blocked. It'll go out of play, and we're knotted up at 15. So Carly Drury will replace Carson Schmitz. She will go to the back row. It is Drury, Rawls, and Martz in the back. Chinkowski, Magis, and Mia Jones up front as Greenbrier will serve. Serve on the way, 15 serving 15, knotted up here. Chinkowski loads it up for Magis as it's a hard hit and a kill for Michaela Magis. 16-15 now. Addison Martz will serve now. Magis will head to the bench. Martz's serves on the way. Goes to her counterpart on the opposite side, the other libero, as they load it up for Crum. This one will go out of play, and it's a 2-point lead for Mountain Home. Martz will serve once again, 17 serving 15. Martz's serve clears the net by a couple inches as Rawls will dig it out. Chinkowski will load up for Jones, who has to punch it over. Set back this way to Southall as they go to the far side. Jones is there. Chinkowski back to McCarn in the middle, and it's a point for Mountain Home, and it's a 3-point lead now. Anna McCarn, another kill. So Martz will serve as Katie Huff will call a timeout here in set 4. That's her first timeout in the 4th set. She will have 1 remaining. You get 2 timeouts a set, those of you that may be tuning in that are new to volleyball. Glad you're here with us this evening on the Bomber Sports Network. This is the regular season road finale for Mountain Home, as they will still have 1 game remaining. They will welcome Alma to the hangar on Thursday. That action begins at 4:30 with the JV contest, and then the senior night festivities will happen after that, as we'll honor Mia Jones, Carson Schmitz, and Jaden Davis, our 3 Lady Bombers seniors. And then after that, we'll have the varsity contest, and we'll get the hangar rocking one last time this year in volleyball. Lady Bombers fighting for their state tournament life. So again, it is all over in Siloam Springs, a big game of interest for playoff positioning, as Van Buren has lost at the hands of of Siloam Springs. As it comes back this way, blocked in the front row, and a point for Mountain Home. This is dug out by Wood, comes to the far side as it's a kill for Greenbrier. That is Fulmer on the kill, so it'll be Greenbrier to serve. 19-16 now, Mountain Home with the lead. J.C. Mobley to serve now. Mobley's serve will go out of play. It's a service error, and Mountain Home's the first one to 20 here in set 4. Jackson will come in, and Aspen Vostatek will come in also. They will send Mia Jones and Lauren Rawls to the bench. Vostatek to the front row, and Jackson to the back to serve. Jackson's serve goes to Wood. They will load it up to the far side, and they'll go out of play, and a point for Mountain Home. I tell you what, I got to be honest, first glance it looked like that just grazed the corner, but as Katie Huff will call her second timeout. So that's her second and final timeout here in set 4. Lady Bombers trying to push this one to a 5th set. Been a really good match so far here in Greenbrier. Very inspired ball club. Greenbrier, who is 4-21 on the season, 2-10 in conference play. But I tell you what, they still have one of the better players in the conference. So as long as you got a player like that, you'll have a chance. So their record is very deceptive. So they've been in a lot of games, at least early in the season. They've had a few injuries over the last about month or so that's kind of sunk their ship. But I believe for the most part they are healthy now. So out of the timeout, it'll be the 6 on the floor for Mountain Home. Jackson still serving. Drury and Martz in the back row, along with Vostatek, McCarn, and Allie Chinkowski up front. Lady Bombers with a 5-point lead here in set number 4. Jackson's serve on the way will clear the net, goes to Wood. They will load it up to the near side to Crum. Chinkowski loads it up. Martz taps it over the net. It will come back to this side, inside the 10-foot line, and Crum punches that one home. So Madison Crum with another kill, and Greenbrier will serve. Mountain Home still with a 4-point lead. McEwen will come into the game. Wood will serve now. Chanley Wood's serve will go to Martz. Chinkowski loads up for Anna McCarn in the middle, and it's a point for Mountain Home and a kill for Anna McCarn. So Carson Schmitz will come back in. She will replace Carly Drury, who will exit the ball game. Chinkowski will go to serve. Serve by Chinkowski's on the way. It is loaded up to the near side for Crum. It's hit right into the net. 23-17. Here in set 4, Mountain Home trying to push this one to a 5th and final set. Chinkowski's serve goes to the middle of the back row. They had 4 back there for defense. They'll load it up to Crum in the middle, right in the net, and it's set point Mountain Home. So Mountain Home 1 point away from going to a 5th and final set. Allie's serve will go to the back row once again. Dug out by Wood. They'll give it to Crum, and nobody was there. Martz and Jackson couldn't close the space, and it's a point for Greenbrier. Mountain Home still has some room to work with, but you'd rather not play around with this lead. A little miscommunication by Mountain Home. A little step slow, but I think they'll be okay. Serves on the way, goes back to Martz as this one will fall to the ground. And it's a point for Greenbrier, so now the lead's down to 5. Jill Davis has 2 timeouts remaining. I think she's going to take one. She is. So she'll have 1 left here in set 4. Mountain Home needs 1 point to get to a 5th set. So again, other games in action tonight. Russellville made the trip to Harrison, and Greenwood is in action at Charles B. Dyer Airedale Arena right now. Don't have any updates on those yet. Can't find any streams online. 1 final so far. Salem Springs has defeated Van Buren on the Pointers senior night, 3-1. A very important game for this Lady Bomber bunch. So they're going to come out of the timeout. Mountain Home will have 1 remaining. Again, those of you that might be new to volleyball, those timeouts do not roll over. So it's not like basketball where you get 5 timeouts for the game, or football where you get 3 per half. It's each side will get 2 timeouts per set. So Greenbrier will serve, trailing 24-19. Saunders to serve. Real quiet here in the Panther Pavilion. This clears the net. Schmitz digs it out. Jackson will load it up for Carson Schmitz. They mistime it, and now Greenbrier is in the 20s now. 24-20. Mountain Home still with a 4-point lead. Jackson digs it out. Chinkowski to McCarn. Lofts that one over. It is met by, couldn't tell who that was. Crum lofts it over. She won't lob it over. And it's a point for Mountain Home. And we will head for, I believe, the 7th time this year to a 5th and final set. Grab your nitroglycerin pills. I apologize if you have any heart issues at home, as we will head to a 5th set. The last 3 sets have been won by the score 25-20, but Mountain Home has only won 1 of the last 3 sets. So now, pretty much the only thing that changes, again, for those of you that are tuning in, just to explain it, instead of playing to 25 in this fifth set, they will play to 15. So it should be a good one. So good one here in the Panther Pavilion. Good. Of course, Mountain Home fighting for their state tournament life. Again, I believe this is the 7th match of the season that has gone to a 5th set for the Lady Bombers, so call them the Cardiac Kids. Coach Upshaw and both Coach Dave's putting their heads together, trying to come up with a plan to attack this 5th set. So couldn't tell who's going to serve. We'll find out here shortly, but Mountain Home needs 2 wins this week to continue their run to the state playoffs. If they lose this one tonight, the math gets very unfavorable, but we won't think about that. So about 2 minutes left here in this timeout period. Glad you're here with us. Regardless of what happens tonight, we will still have one more game. We'll have a home match as Mountain Home will welcome Alma to the hangar for senior night. We'll honor our 3 seniors, Mia Jones, Carson Schmitz, and Jaden Davis between the JV and varsity match. That starts at 4:30. That's a big game either way. You know, senior night's always fun. You can get a little fire behind you. Like this Greenbrier bunch, it's their senior night, and they've played really well. This is the Greenbrier we've known that's been competing for conference titles the last couple of years, but you know, they have a very good junior high program, so their trip out of the playoffs I think will be short-lived, at least for this year. So it should be a good 5th set here. Strap down the big TV, get things ready, grab your nitroglycerin pills. Again, I hope you don't have any heart issues wherever you may be. As we're under a minute to go here in this set number 5, in the intermission for set number 5. As we're about ready to get things fired up. So we'll give you a rundown of the sets. Mountain Home won the first set pretty easily, 25-16, and Greenbrier won the next 2 sets, 25-20. The Mountain Home responded right back, winning 25-20 of their own. So again, this one will be played to 15. You still have to win by 2. So the 6 on the floor for Mountain Home will be McCarn, Vostatek, and Allie Chinkowski. Addison Martz will get Michaela Magis out when she's able to sub in after a check of the lineup. And then it'll be Drury and Jackson in the back row as well. Well, all comes down to this, Bomber Nation. Let's see. It is set number 5. Been a fun game so far this evening. Glad you're here with us. I am Dylan Conley. I'm growing a few gray hairs, and I believe my heart rate has increased over the last couple of minutes, couple of hours here. So Mountain Home will serve. Jackson to serve. This serve will go to Wood in the back row. Comes back this way. They'll load it up for Crum. This one is punched right down. That's a big start for Greenbrier. 1-0 on the kill from Madison Crum. Her older sister Peyton Crum was another wrecking crew that played for him a couple years ago. So 1-0 as Wood will serve. Wood's serve goes to Chinkowski, who will set it up for McCarn in the middle. McCarn with the kill, and it's 1-1. Carson Schmitz will re-enter the ball game. Carly Drury will head to the bench. So Chinkowski will serve. Goes right to Wood. They've been peppering Wood all night. Goes to the near side to Crum. She hits it right in the net. 2-1 our score here in the 5th set. It may not look like it on your screen, but there are a pretty good amount of people here. If we were playing in their volleyball gym, this would have filled it up, and it'd be a big noise box over there. It's a volleyball-specific arena. We are in the big arena. They were expecting more people, and more people that could fit in there are here. This is dug out by Chinkowski. Martz sets it over to Vostatek as just misses the end line, and it's 2-2. Not a bad idea by Vosta Tech as it just missed the end line. Nobody was there, but she just had a little too much on it. So Greenbrier will serve now, 2-2. Glad you're here with us. Hit that subscribe button. You'll get a notification anytime we go live for Bomber Athletics. As this serves on the way, goes right to Martz. Sent it over on the first hit. As it's dug out, Vosta Tech taps it over, and it's a point for Mountain Home. It grazes the sideline, and it's 3-2. So Anna McCarn, the 6'4" junior, will serve now. She started serving about 2 weeks ago. Jill Davis found something in one of the lineups they tried at Conway, and she's served ever since. It'll come back this way to Crum, as this is tapped in the front row. And it's a point for Greenbrier. Madison Crum with another kill. It's 3-3 now. Madison Crum will serve now. So now she will have to attack from the back row in this part of the rotation. As this serve just tickles the tape, Schmitz loads it up for Vosta Tech. As this will go to the left side of the back row, they will load it up to Crum at the 10-foot line. It's blocked in the air. Jankowski saves it. Martz will load up for Vosta Tech at the 10-foot line as it's a light punch over, but it does get over. Comes back this way to Southall, who hits it in the net. 4-3 Mountain Home here in set number 5. So Mia Jones and Lauren Rawls will come back in. Jones will go to the front row. Jones will go to the front row. Mia will go to the back to serve. Or Rawls will go back to, I can't talk. Rawls will serve, good Lord. As this is blocked in the front, pancaked by Rawls, but it's a point for Greenbrier, and we're knotted up at 4 once again. Ashton Parker to serve. Ashton Harper, excuse me. Not Parker, Harper. Her serve's on the way. This will go right to Martz in the back row. May sets it up for Schmitz. Goes right to the back row. 5 girls in the front row for Greenbrier. Jankowski digs this out to Martz. Schmitz will loft it over on the third hit. It will come back to the far side. Hard hit right to Jankowski. Martz loads it up. Carson Schmitz load that one up. Good dig by Greenbrier as it's tapped over. Jankowski sends it over to Rawls, who will two-hand tap it over. It will come back this way, go to the middle, and nobody will be there. It'll be 4 hits and a point for Greenbrier. 5-4 our score now. Greenbrier on the high side. Serves on the way. Martz digs it out. Mages sets it up for Carson Schmitz, and it hits the antenna, and it's a 2-point lead for Greenbrier. And Jill Daves will call her first timeout here in the 5th set. 6-4 our score. Greenbrier with the lead. It's been a down-home Donnybrook here in the Panther Pavilion. Seen a lot of great, exciting matches and games here across all sports. I believe it came down to the last minutes in each of the Bomber and Lady Bomber soccer games here last year. And then, of course, all of the Bomber basketball games against them were close and exciting contests. So these two schools know each other really well. They've played each other in the last decade in 2 different conferences. Back when Mountain Home was in the 5A blended conference with a bunch of teams from the Central. The 4A, 5A blend, that was a weird time. That was a dark day for the state as there were so many blended conferences, nobody knew what was going on. So Greenbrier will serve, 6 serving 4. Harper to serve. Her serve's on the way. It will go way out of play. It hits the block on the free throw line, and it's a 1-point game. So Schmitz will serve now. Schmitz ready to go, takes a couple dribbles, her usual routine. Serve is on the way. This will go to Wood in the back row. They will loft it back to Crum at the 10-foot line, dug out by Schmitz. Jankowski will load it up to the far side to Mia Jones as it's tipped in the air, and it's a kill for Mountain Home and a point. So MJ's got another kill. I believe she's up to 5, and it's 6-6. Schmitz will load. Her serve on the way, as this is a good serve, as it will go out of play, and Mountain Home has the lead. 7-6 here in set number 5. Everybody on pins and needles here at the Panther Pavilion. Schmitz's serve, good serve. This will go to the front. They'll load it up for Southall. It's blocked in the front row. A point for Mountain Home. A 4-0 run by the Lady Bombers. And now they go from down 2 to up 2 after the timeout. Carson Schmitz serving once again. This is a good serve by her. Wood's got to dig this out in desperation. They'll have to attack from about 18 feet out, and my goodness, that actually worked. So Crum will get credited for another kill. I'd have to imagine, I'm not keeping track of them, but I'd have to imagine that she's close to the 30s in kills. She's an excellent player. As Drury will come back in for Schmitz. 8-7 our score. Here's the serve. Grazes the net. Well, actually, it was close as they'll load it up for Magus as just misses the line. They're going to say, I think that's the right call. Cleared it by about the length of the ball. So it's 8-8. Dug out by March. Jankowski loads it up for Mia Jones as this is saved by, that was Crum in the back row. It has to go over on the third hit. Magus loads it up. Jankowski back to Magus. This is dug out. Have to go back to Crum. Drury loads it for Martz. Saved by Magus. It stays in play. Now they'll keep it back to Crum at the 10-foot line as this is high in the air. Martz trying to track it down. It will go out of play and a point for Greenbrier. So 1 timeout left for Mountain Home. 2 left for Greenbrier. 9-8 our score. Serves on the way. Dug out by Jankowski. Schmitz gives it back up to Magus. Tapped in the air. Magus saves it backwards. Schmitz will line it up for Jankowski, who hits it over her head. Comes back this way. They'll line it up for Southall. It's blocked, and it falls to the ground, and Greenbrier's into double digits. So Mountain Home has a 4-0 run, and then it's matched by a 4-0 run of Greenbrier, and it's a timeout for Mountain Home, their final timeout of the match. 10-8 our score. Greenbrier with the lead. Greenbrier still has both of their timeouts. Mountain Home trying to make something happen here in this 5th and final set. 10-8 our score. This is Greenbrier's senior night again. They have played really well tonight. So Greenbrier's been they look like the Greenbrier team that we've seen for the last 3 years or so that have competed for conference titles. And Peyton Crum, who's been one of the better players in the conference, has been showing why tonight. As the Panthers will try to play spoiler. Greenbrier is 5 points away from a 5-set victory. Saunders will continue to serve. 10 serving 8. Dug out by Rawls. Jones saves this one. Martz will have to hit it over her head for the third hit. Comes back to Crum as it is out of play, and a point for Mountain Home. 10-9 now. McCarn will come back in, and Martz will go serve. Magus will head to the bench. Martz's serve clears the net, back to Wood. They will load it up, back to Crum, times it good, as this one is out of play, and it's 10-10. A back-and-forth affair in this 5th set, as Martz will continue to serve. Her serve's on the way, goes back to Wood. Oh, it wasn't Wood, it was next to her, as this is saved by Schmitz. Jankowski saves it, but it's not going to be able to be picked up by anyone behind her, and that's a point for Greenbrier. Mobley to serve. Her serve is on the way right to Schmitz. Chenkowski will load up for McCarn in the middle. It will come back this way to Crum. As nobody's there, it's a point for Mountain Home as it goes out of play, 11-11. So Jones and Rawls will exit the ball game for Jackson and Vostatek. So 2 sophomores, 3 juniors, and a senior on the floor now for Mountain Home. Jackson's serve is picked up by Wood. They will go this side to Crum as it's blocked, and it goes right to the floor. 12-11, Greenbrier with the lead. Chanley Wood, the libero for the Panthers to serve now. Her serve is on the way, dug out by Schmitz. Chenkowski over to McCarn, and this is punched straight down. It's 12-12. So the Lady Bombers will serve once again. I believe it'll be Chenkowski to serve. It will be. 12-12 as Katie Huff will call timeout. So that's Greenbrier's first timeout in set number 5. 12-12 our score. I'm glad you're here with us on the Bomber Sports Network this evening. Our next broadcast of Bomber Athletics will be Friday, as it'll be Bomber football as they'll hit the road to take on the Panthers of Siloam Springs. Siloam riding a 26-game losing streak going into that one. This is not the final game, the final regular season game of the year for the Lady Bombers, as they will still have a game in the hangar on Thursday night, as they will welcome the Airedales of Alma to town. That starts at 4:30. Then we'll have the senior night stuff after, as we'll honor Jaden, Mia, and Carson. And then the varsity game will be after. But we have business to attend to here. 12-12, set number 5. Chenkowski's serve goes to the left side of the back row. It will come back this way to Crum, as this is a kill for Madison Crum. 13-12 here in set number 5. Saunders and Southall will come back in. So Greenbrier will serve, 13-12. Serves on the way. Be dug out by Jackson. Chenkowski loads it up for McCarn. It's a kill for Mountain Home. 13-13. Pika Traver will come in, seeing her first action as she will go to the back row to serve, and Magis will come back in for Martz. Here is Traver's serve. Good serve. They will go to the near side. They'll load up for Crum once again. And it's off the antenna. And it's a point for Greenbrier. And it's match point. So match point as Traver will come out for McCarn. Crum will serve. Crum to serve for the match. Serves on the way, dug out by Chenkowski. Martz back to Magis, two-hand taps it over. They're going to go to Southall here. Actually, Crum to the 10-foot line as nobody's there. It's a kill for Greenbrier and a 5-set loss for Mountain Home. So that's going to do it from the Panther Pavilion. The final score, Mountain Home loses 3-2. The final score of those sets, Mountain Home won set 1, 25-16. Greenbrier won the next 2 sets, 25-20. Mountain Home won the third set, 25-20, and lost the last set, 15-13. So that's going to do it from the Panther Pavilion. We thank you for joining us this evening on the Bomber Sports Network. Our next broadcast will be at Siloam Springs of Bomber football on Friday. Join us in the hangar on Thursday as the Lady Bomber volleyball team will have senior night against Alma, starting at 4:30. So on behalf of the Mountain Home School District, I am Dylan Conley, wishing you a good rest of your evening and a good night